Real estate will never be cheaper than today.
The best time was yesterday. It's not tomorrow. It's not today. It was actually yesterday. So the longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to get. The Wildwood is ranked number 7 shore point in America. How many shore points are up and down the East Coast?
Inventory is 59% lower today than it was in 2019. So you had 100 homes. Now there's only 40 homes available.
I'm having a conversation with people that are 22, 23 years old that are already thinking about buying down there long term. They want to make rental income. They're already talking about what their future looks like with families. And a lot of people, I think, struggle with what can I rent the property for?
Supply and demand. Welcome to the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez, where we talk everything real estate. Today, my guest is Ed Rogers from Honest Real Estate. Ed, welcome back to the show.
Pat, thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
Great. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to be talking about second homes. You recently opened up an office in New Jersey, a shore point. So you're dealing with a lot of people down there. I want to get the mindset of what people are thinking, what they're looking for. So why don't we jump right into it? First of all, where is your new office?
So new office is located at 100 East 5th Ave, North Wildwood, New Jersey. It's right on the corner of 5th and New Jersey, pretty much where you come right into North Wildwood in order to travel through to get to Wildwood, to cross things like that.
Okay, and then what is your focus down there? Are you just looking to target Wildwood, or are you trying to target other shore points?
Focus is Cape May County for right now, which pretty much runs from the ocean over to the Delaware Bay, and then it creates a whole point into like a whole general area of Cape May County is the focus. We decided to open up in North Wildwood strictly because that's where we believe North Wildwood, Wildwood, and the Crest. A lot of our clientele from where we're currently located in Philadelphia has second homes, vacations, things like that. So we are trying to be pretty much where they are down the shore, and then where they are back at home in their primary home.
Right. Yeah, and I was going to ask you, what was the motivation as far as that? So you jumped right in there and answered that question. Okay, so what are clients? Because I know for years you've been selling property, down the shore points, and now you have an office there, so now the traffic is much more. But what are people looking for? What are their motivations?
I think motivation is everyone wants to enjoy life more, and when they own something down the shore, they feel as though that they enjoy it a little bit more. So when we identified that over a few year period, just kind of analyzing conversations and where are people going, which companies are they using to buy, it gave us motivation to essentially put ourselves right in front of what we believe in was the main focus for that.
Okay. And then are you seeing people wanting to buy investment properties, second homes, Airbnbs, a mixture of all?
I think it's a mixture of all. So a lot of people would love to own a second home down the shore. I think it comes down to the affordability aspect. Can they get the down payment together? Yes. Can they afford primary mortgage, second mortgage? Sometimes it gets tight. You have a husband and wife working or things like that. It gets a little tight sometimes. So we're trying to educate them that there are different types of properties that they could buy. They could buy a condo that's a seasonal condo where they utilize it during the season and the building closes down. So those properties are a little bit less money. You could buy year-round condos where you're not down there cutting grass, shoveling snow, making repairs. You just have a monthly condo fee. And then there are the investing side. You could buy properties as investment, single family, multifamily. You can rent them out yourself. You can Airbnb them. You can contact a company down there to handle the management for you. So there's a lot of different angles there. And then, the single family home for the ones that want, a single family home. They don't want to be condo. They don't want to be investment. So there's a lot that goes on down the shore, which I think is beautiful because there's a lot to learn, a lot to teach people, and a lot to help them with.
Well, let me ask you this question, because this thought came to mind. Now, do you see people that have a strategy where they say, okay, I want to buy something now, I want to, Airbnb it or rent it out, and their project is, or their mindset is that in 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, when I retire, then I could now stop Airbnb and I can move into it myself and then sell the house in Pennsylvania or Jersey or wherever they have it. Do you have those conversations?
Yeah, we're having more of those conversations now that we're down there. I think the conversations for us and our agents are definitely on the uptick right now, which is fantastic. So people are thinking the long game, right? I mean, the younger generation, I'm having conversations with people that are 22, 23 years old that are already thinking about buying down there long term. They want to make rental income. They're already talking about what their future looks like with families and things like that. So, a lot of people I think struggle with what can I rent the property for? And there's a lot of variables there. You can't go on the MLS and find what is a nightly booking rate for an Airbnb.
Right.
So there's a lot of variables on how to find out where's the property located, how close is it to the beach or to the bay, what are all the other Airbnbs renting for. There's a lot of variables on what you can rent for, and then once you can narrow that down, I think it helps understand what could be made minus the expenses, and as time goes on, values go up. I think that's where people are really starting to look for the future.
Well, there is a saying, and this is the truest thing, and we just had a conversation a couple minutes ago about this. Real estate will never be cheaper than today.
Correct.
So, and we just had a conversation, more than a couple minutes ago, where the person said, "Oh, I could have bought this lot for $60,000. I thought it was overpriced, and now, 10 years later, son of a bitch, I think $300." Are you thinking about buying, refinancing, or investing in real estate? I've been a loan officer for 30 years, helping my clients find the right loan for the right property. I keep it simple and honest. If you want real numbers and guidance you can trust, give me a call. Now let's get back to the show.
It's so true. I mean, especially down the shore, like the shore market, like I read an article in the Business Journal a couple weeks ago, and they labeled the Wildwoods, I'm pretty sure that's what they call it. The Wildwoods is ranked number 7 shore point in America. Something along those lines. I'm not like quoting exactly what it said. So how many shore points are there in America?
Right.
How many shore points are up and down the East Coast?
Right.
I mean, so if you're labeling something number 7 out of how many shore points, I mean, the best time was yesterday.
Right.
It's not tomorrow. It's not today. It was actually yesterday. So the longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to get, and it becomes a lot harder for most people.
Okay. Now let me ask you this question. I saw another statistic where it showed that inventory is like 59% lower today than it was in 2019. So you figure, take the COVID out, the last normal market before COVID was 2019. There's 59% less homes for sale in New Jersey, in the state now. Yeah. In the whole state than there currently. So, I mean, that's a huge number. Yep. So if you had 100 homes, now there's only 40 homes available. So that supply and demand is a really tough thing. Now, are you seeing that in the Wildwoods, or are they building a lot down there? Or are they turning these old hotels into condos? What's happening there?
Ton of construction happening down there. Every time I turn around, there's new pilings in the ground for a new building. There's homes on the water being knocked down or being lifted up. Ton of construction going on. All those old school bungalows, they're all disappearing as time goes on. But I think from an inventory standpoint, like I'm a prime example. I bought down North Wildwood, 9th summer down there. We bought before the COVID happened.
Right.
We have a low mortgage payment, have a low loan amount, a low interest rate because we refied, when the rates dropped down really low. And we're in a position as a family of, we want to upsize, we want to go bigger, we want those things, but it's like you look at what we paid, what they are now. So a lot of homeowners just like Bucks County, Philadelphia, they're in with these low interest rates, these low payments. They're watching all this new stuff happening, but you're going to go from this payment to that payment. So a lot of those properties aren't hitting the market either. A lot of those people that own those investments, we don't see hitting the market either. So you're kind of dealing almost with the same thing. Now we're new to the market. Like I've always done business down there, but being in it every day now, we're learning a ton as well. But that's what I'm starting to realize.
Right. So yeah, it'd be sort of like the lock-in effect. So for you, you may turn around and say, you know what, maybe I won't sell my condo. I'll buy a house, because I need more space or I want more space, but I can actually rent it and the numbers pencil out, so I may keep it. So that's where that lock-in effect comes in, where it really tightens up that inventory.
Yeah, it gets a little. We're in a condo. It gets a little complicated. Our bylaws state that we can't do short-term rentals.
Right.
We have to do a certain day minimum. So can you turn around and put our condo on Airbnb and try to rent it for 2 nights and capitalize or make the most amount of money? You can't. You have to look for the long.
Yeah, like a monthly rental. Yeah,
you have to look for longer term. So the short money, the quick turnarounds might not be a possibility for a lot of people too. So there's a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of different buildings. There's a lot of different rules. There's a lot of different little, I call them mini cities. You go a couple blocks, you're in a new area, which is beautiful, I think.
Right. Okay, so you're saying that they are doing a lot of building.
Yes.
So there's always inventory down there.
Always. There's a ton of like builders, developers, realtors that we know, that we've known for a while, that they're getting ready to break ground on new construction. They're not on the MLS, and sometimes with the connections that we might have, we can get you in front of these before they hit the market. Get you in at, I wouldn't say bottom number, but get you in at base pricing. You pick your finishes, things like that. We have to make phone calls. Sometimes those people have to make phone calls, but there's a ton of new construction happening. Every time you turn around.
So would you say there's more new construction than existing home sales, or just because there's so many existing homes?
I think there's more existing home sales just because there's so many different types of homes. I think there's more. I don't think I've ever checked it, but from a quick answer, I think there's more homes for sale than there would be new construction.
Okay.
That would be crazy if there was more new construction. Than there were homes
well, you could have people just not selling.
Yeah.
Okay, so some takeaways for like a second home, Airbnb, type of resort market. What would you tell people, if they're thinking about doing it? Because you mentioned there are companies out there that do everything for you. It's a turnkey where you turn around and you buy it. They'll rent it. They'll do all the maintenance.
Yeah, so that's going to be. So we just opened up a couple weeks ago, and I want to give a shout out to Ken. Ken Milgram. So I get a little emotional for some reason. Ken really stepped up and helped us be able to open, because Honest Real Estate is licensed in New Jersey, but our location was Pennsylvania. We were getting some pushback on how we could open up this branch location or the second location. It would have taken a long time with the real estate commission. Ken has his New Jersey broker license. He said, hey, let's open it up as a branch office. Let's use my broker license down there. So Honest Real Estate is the owner. Ken Milgram's the actual broker down there for the branch office. So one, what we're doing is not possible without the people we have. So I want to talk about that. I get a little emotional, so I might cry a little bit. So I got a little off topic on your question there. What was the question?
So all I was saying is, for people who are thinking about, making that move, and just the overall mindset for them to go in there to, to purchase, just some things that they should be aware of, those kind of things, and what conversations you actually have, with them.
Yeah, so right now, like if you want to purchase as an investor, what we're doing as a company is we're not focused on it right now. Our goal is to focus on it through the winter. We're going to set up property management for investors, because most investors down there, maybe they're not down there, they can't deal with it. So our company is going to set up property management to help people. So we could help you as an investor identify a good opportunity, help you buy it, and then we would take on the rental aspect of it. Whether you're doing short-term rentals, long-term rentals, seasonal rentals, we'll handle everything. We'll handle cleaners, we'll handle maintenance, we'll handle, pretty much anything that has to happen. So from an investor standpoint, you could say, hey, I'll use Honest Real Estate, one of their agents. They'll help me buy it. Then they'll do the property management for me. So it's able to help investors actually invest in an area and think comfortable that it's being taken care of the correct way. If you're a second homeowner, find out where you want to live. I think that's the hardest part. Do you want to live in Cape May? Do you want to live in North Wildwood, Wildwood, Crest? Do you want to live close to the beach, close to the bay? Do you want to be in the middle so you might not get flooded? A lot of variables. I think for us, it's finding out what do you want to achieve? Where do you want to make that happen at? And then same concept we've always done is understand the client and then helping them make the best decision for what they want to achieve.
Right.
So there's a lot of moving parts, but I think it's really just finding out what does the client want and then helping them make it happen for them.
Perfect. Now, and I would say, because like you mentioned, you have a place in Wildwood. I have a place in
North
Florida.
Wildwood.
In North Wildwood.
Big difference.
There you go.
Some people in North Wildwood will kill you for that.
There you go. So, and I have a place in Florida that I bought, years ago, and I Airbnb it out. But my mindset was, and that's why I asked you a question, hey, I buy it now because it was so much cheaper then versus now, because the property almost doubled in value, that I was able to buy it. I had a management company, or had one. They do everything. I don't do anything. They just send me the money, and that's it. Because living up in Pennsylvania versus in Florida, it's impossible. So just for everybody out there, that it is a viable option, especially if your long-term goal is, I am a beach person. I want to be close to the beach, and that's where I want to retire. This is what I want to do. Hey, you can look at something now potentially, because 10 years from now, you'll be like so happy that you bought. And you'll be amazed at what the properties are selling for 10 years in the future.
Yeah, I think people are looking for convenience as well, like where who can help them the most. I think is the biggest thing. That's how I am as a consumer, right? If I come to you, I want you to just be like, this is it, right? And that's what we're trying to create as a company as well. So
no, and it's super smart. So not only do the sales, the whole management, rental, that whole thing, because that's key. Because I'm sure you'll find that at least 25, maybe 50% of people are going to want those ancillary services.
Yeah, I mean, you're home. You're at little Billy's soccer game on a Saturday. You don't want to be worried about phone calls.
Right.
Sure, you're 2 hours away. And most of the people that live down there are kind of in our marketplace up here.
Right.
So hey, we have to meet. You're the investor and I'm the agent. We have to meet. Okay, let's meet in the Northeast. You don't have to drive down the shore to meet me.
Right.
And that's kind of what we're trying to create.
That synergy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, keep everything where it's accessible to the client. Is the most I think direct way to put it for us.
Okay, great. Well, Ed, thanks for being on the show. Thanks for telling us a little bit about the Jersey Shore market, especially North Wildwood.
Some of these guys, that's like saying if you live in the Crescent, somebody says you live in Wildwood, I'm like, there's a lot for us to learn down there. We're learning, we're growing, and we're going to teach it as we go, kind of like we always done.
There you go. Okay, well, that's the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez, where we talk everything real estate. Be sure to follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, and of course, this show will be airing on YouTube. The Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez. I'm striving to get to 50,000 subscribers. If you can help me out, 50,000. I'm about 4,000 subscribers short. So, Ed, shout it out there. Help me out, talk to your people out there. So, I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll talk to you next week.